Exactly.
Yeah, right. But he wasn't even doing that misleading part. He was applying the top marginal tax rate to all of the income, which is like basic 101 understandings of how our tax system works.
So stupid.
What's going on, you guys? Today we have Sam Seder exposing the right for their incoherence. Today it's Andrew Wilson. Andrew Wilson is wanting to explain a tax plan. Sam Seder is schooling him on the basics.
Know what they're commenting on, because I literally watched the first 60 seconds of this and needed to watch no more to know that we're dealing with complete morons who apparently do this professionally. This is a video courtesy of or made by Cool V1C. I don't know what that is. It's a YouTube channel, but I think it's the dude in the insert. And this is just like his cold open, I think it is. And he is done a video where I'm getting roasted by political commentator Andrew Wilson, who I also don't know who he is. This is a great opportunity, and I am all for being roasted. I think people who listen to the program know that. But this is a great opportunity to teach some of the dumbest people alive some of the most basic elements of our government structure. And the thing is, it's called marginal tax rates. Not tax rates.
Oh, what?
Marginal tax rates. And as you know, I have, spent a considerable period of time over the years advocating that we return to the top marginal tax rates that we had in the 1950s and 1960s. And the top marginal tax rate was 90%. And that would have been on $470,000 or maybe $400,000. And in today's dollars, I think it's closer to $3 million. I may, I think I was corrected in the Jubilee, and I think it could be 4 million. But regardless, top marginal tax rate. Many of you know what that means. 90% on every dollar above a certain level of income. Let's call it 3 million. 90 cents on every dollar above 3 million. That's what a marginal tax rate means. Watch this and see how quickly it takes them to show that they know nothing about really anything.
And if you guys haven't watched it, go watch Sam Seder versus the 20 conservatives on Jubilee. That crap is so freaking hilarious.
Well, what this guy proposes, you have to think about it, right? He's saying at $3 million and 90% would leave you with what? 300,000? Leave you with $300,000. So what incentive do people have exactly to give up 90% of their income?
Andrew Wilson completely torched.
No, keep going.
Sam Seder of the Majority Report for Sam Seder's recent comments. Sam Seder went on and argued that we should have a 90% tax for anyone making a certain dollar amount, which he has argued for before. Obviously, it's ridiculous, but you have lefties like Sam Seder that think it's a good idea. And Andrew Wilson joins Lord Jake Rattlesnake here to dismantle his argument and explain why it's a terrible idea. Let's see what Andrew Wilson has to say.
Clip with you. This was from Piers Morgan the other day, and we covered this on our channel as well. But it's Sam Seder, who is a guy that I would absolutely love to see you debate.
Yeah, I've tried to set it up multiple times.
Oh, that would
Wait
be
a second. What? He's tried to set it up multiple times. I didn't go this far into the video, to be honest with you. I hadn't even, I had stopped it after. I was just like, we already know the answer to this. He has no idea what he's talking about.
Yeah.
Now, if you need to learn about taxes, and I guess this Andrew Wilson guy does, and incidentally, if you want to have a debate, I'm happy to come on your show anytime, honestly, anytime to debate this. And make sure you save that clip so we can replay it and I can tell your audience why you know nothing about what you're talking about. Marginal taxes. It is not 90% of $3 million.
Yeah.
It is 90% for every dollar made above $3 million. Now, just to make sure that we can establish who knows what they're talking about, if you Google marginal tax rates for dummies, literally for dummies.
And this is the entire conservative party at this point. They're all, anyone who is got a YouTube or anything as that matter saying, oh, I can't wait to talk to Sam Seder. Yeah, he's scared to talk to me. Everybody is afraid to talk to Sam Seder. No one will actually have him on to talk because they know Tim Pool had him on one time. Now he's banned from the show. It just doesn't work out.
You will find on Google a link to this site. Put this up there, Bradley. Okay. Now, let's scroll through this site for a moment. So we're all going to learn this together. Both those of us who actually take even a minute or two to figure out what they're talking about, and these guys, Lord Jeffries or whatever the guy's name was. You will see here on this screen, and hold on one second. I get this up here in front of me so I can see it better.
I'll just read the purple text here. You pay tax as a percentage of your income in layers called tax brackets. As your income goes up, the tax rate on the next layer of income is higher. When your income jumps to a higher tax bracket, you don't pay the higher tax on your entire income. You pay the higher rate only on the part of income that's in the new tax bracket.
Now, what's very nice about the IRS here is that they've highlighted it in purple so that if you are, in fact, a dummy, you will be able to read that. Now, okay, put it back up and let's scroll down a little bit. So as you go, you can see the current 2024 tax rates for single payer. You have a 10% tax rate up to $11,600. And then if you make between $11,601 and $47,000, you pay a 12% rate on that quadrant or that sector of your money. And then it's 22% on the money between $47,000 and $100,000. So for instance, scroll down, they even give you an example so you can understand. Scroll down just a little bit more, a little bit more, a little bit more, a little bit more. Okay. From 0 to 11,600, that portion is taxed at 10%. Then between 11,600 and 47,150, that portion is taxed at 12%. And then from 47,
If you guys like this recap, make sure to like and subscribe for more.
150 to 58,000, that portion is taxed at 22%. So if you keep, go back to the other, scroll up. That's the way it works. And if you make $609,000, everything above $609,000 is taxed at a 37% rate. So your tax obligation is a combination of all these different rates depending on how much you make. If you only make $11,000, your obligation, your tax obligation is only going to be 10% of that $11,000. But if you make $47,000, your tax obligation is going to be 10% of the first $11,000 plus 12% of the next $36,000, and so on and so on. That's what marginal rates mean. And so if the top marginal rate is 90%, you pay 37% on your first 3 million. And then any dollar above 3 million, you pay 90% on those.
Right.
And I'm willing to negotiate on this. If we want to make it 4 million and then it's 90%, I'm open to that.
Right. But the point, it's an average that or you would use if you were to like use what he's the mode of thinking that he's trying to deploy there. That would be more the effective tax rate or the average of it, which is also can be misleading. But
it
he's
would
not
be the average tax rate, and the effective tax rate would be what you pay after you get all your loopholes and deductions.
Exactly.
It's funny because Ted Cruz always is trying to sell flat tax to these people who seem to think we already have one.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yeah. Right. Right. But he wasn't even doing that misleading part. He was applying the top marginal tax rate to all of the income, which is like basic 101 understandings of how our tax system works.
It is so stupid. It is like such a basic rudimentary understanding of what taxes are. So this guy's brainiac enough to think that if we take 90% of people's money at the, like,
There's no incentives.
why wouldn't I just make $2 million, and then I would only get taxed at 37%? I would keep a lot more money. This is
So there we have it, you guys. It seems like Sam Seder is the only one who's actually stayed up to date and stayed educated on these topics. Nowadays, you have, people such as Andrew Wilson. You have anyone who is going to get behind the Conservative Party and just spew these half thought out ideas, has nothing to do with policy, has nothing to do with anything that they've ever learned. It's just, this should work. Yeah, it's just they're treating our country like it's a broken down vehicle, and they're just trying different things that works. Probably less. It's like a C tier mechanic at that point. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. So it's another day in the progressive way.